Welcome back to another episode of Absolutely Nothing Podcast. Steve the Plum Grievous here, back to back on 5/12/21 with my two boys here.
Michael, Real, Anne Hathaway, Sorosky.
And Eric the Pterodactyl Dumlow. Back to back.
Back to back, and Eric, just to celebrate, is going to hit us up with a DMX joke right now.
I'll only tell you the DMX joke if I can tell a story afterwards.
I'm like, no. Okay, so.
All right, so anyways, I had a kid.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
All right, so in order to tell my DMX joke, I need one of you to tell me and summarize for someone who doesn't know what happened to DMX, to basically summarize what happened. Not just like that, he's dead, but like, does anyone remember kind of what happened and like how the news played out and anything behind the story that someone could like start telling that?
I mean, I thought he OD'd on like heroin or something.
And then
Or
what was going on
something.
for like so like, all right, so go ahead, you can start now.
And then, yeah, people were just like doing like nighttime vigils, and like he was just some big saint, and like it was just like the remorse for him. Like we lost like the fucking greatest human being of all time.
Wasn't he?
Is how I remember it.
Okay, Sorosky, you remember anything else?
The only thing I remember is there was some like Twitter rumors he died before he died, I think.
What?
There were some Twitter rumors that he died before he died.
Steve gets it.
I know, I got it. I was trying to get you to do it again.
That's funny.
That's the joke. It's like you start
Yeah.
explaining it, and then
Yeah.
I hit you with a what.
You should in the
That's
future do
awesome.
multiple whats if I lay you up for one.
The goal was like you'd be like, oh yeah, like he OD'd, and then he was in a coma for a couple days, and then they announced that he was dead, but he wasn't, but he was really in a coma, and then I'd be like, what? But it still worked decent.
Yeah, we got there.
Okay.
So is that like? Was that? Do you still have a story, or is that just like the?
I still have a story.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I actually have a question for Sorosky,
Uh-oh.
but I'm going to start with a story and then I'm going to give him a question, and I'm going to let you answer, Sorosky, because I've gotten feedback on the podcast that I did, just me and Sorosky, that I cut off Sorosky, and I think that's doing a public service for most people to not let him talk. But I actually got some feedback that like let Sorosky breathe. So this is what the people want; they'll get it. So
Was that from one person? Because one person tells me pretty routinely.
It was one person and they say, let Sorosky go. So, if one person says it, 10 people feel that way. So
I was
let you
thinking
go.
100. Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you go, but I'll ask you the question after I complete my story. So my story is, I recently celebrated my 32nd birthday. Steve's having kids. I'm turning 32. Like we're getting up there.
Just
Liz-
big boy shit.
Yeah, Liz planned a party for me, which was awesome, and it was at Topgolf. We're getting older. We're doing things that are more of like an investment, and we got 2 bays. It's 6 people per bay. So like you guys know Topgolf, it's not super cheap.
Right.
And you have to reserve it all ahead of time, all that. And so she reserves the 2 bays, and like in a group text is figuring out everyone who can go to the party. And they were really strict about having like 6 people, because like we tried to call other Topgolfs to not give our name away, but to be like, hey, we have a reservation for 6. Is it cool if if we have like 7 but 6 are golfing? And they were like, absolutely not, because of COVID, like it had to be.
They were like, trace the call.
Yeah, I know, like we're trying to be sneaky, calling other Topgolf locations. So anyways, it was a big deal. So in the group text, we were like figuring out who all could go, because obviously like we didn't want people to be left out. And Sorosky confirmed in a group text that he was going. So Sorosky was going to get a ride from our buddy Diego. Diego confirmed he was going to go, and Sorosky said, my ride's in, I'm in. That's a direct quote. I wrote it down for this. So he said, my ride's in, I'm in. Okay. Then Sorosky and I, a couple of days later, were texting about something else. And Sorosky was just bragging to me how he used the word chic in public, which is a normal conversation for us to have. I am also impressed that he, everything aside, I was impressed that he used the word chic in public. And
Which chic?
Like CHIC.
Okay.
Like he said it in a sentence. I was like, yeah, that's pretty sick. And I said to him a very nice compliment. I thought I told him, "You bend the fabric of society, and you're a socialite." Because Sorosky's been like more of a socialite in Chicago recently. So I tell him, "You bend the fabric of society, and you're a socialite." Sorosky responds back, and I quote, "Don't worry, I'll tell them my schedule's full for your birthday." So now that's like
Okay.
two. That's like,
man, it really sounds like he's going.
yeah.
You know, again,
Wait. This isn't your time. This isn't your time. This isn't your time. I'm gonna let you free at the end. So meanwhile, I find out, Steve, that you're in town, and like you're gonna be in Chicago because you live in Vegas and like don't get to see you a lot, and you're gonna be in town. So
Right.
you're gonna be here for my birthday. You're like, oh, what are you doing Saturday? And I was like, oh, sick. We're gonna watch the Izzy fight at my place. Come on by afterwards. You know what I mean? And so basically, like, I just didn't loop you in on the Top Golf thing because we were completely full, and we already tried to see if they
couldn't.
I already tried to see if they would let people sneak in, whatever. And by the way, Steve, were you the only one? No, you weren't the only one. There was other people that I literally told they actually couldn't come to Top Golf, and they were just going to come to my house afterwards because they couldn't. And so meanwhile, like I said, Top Golf isn't cheap, and there's a minimum for drinks and food. So obviously, like, the more people you have, it's less per person, and then it wouldn't like screw Liz at the end of the night. To like if you have 6 people show up, then the minimum that everyone needs to spend goes like way up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like we also, even though we couldn't go more than 12, we wanted 12 people so that the minimum wouldn't be that bad for everyone. So anyways, I go to Top Golf. Sorosky's not there. I don't really hear from him. And then we go back to my house. You come over. If I'm remembering correctly, you brought me a birthday card, and then you brought me some candy along with the birthday card. That was very nice of you and very thoughtful. And I think you even told me happy birthday at one point, which is natural because we were celebrating my birthday. And I never really heard a happy birthday from Sorosky, nor I'm not coming, not only to Top Golf, but I'm also not coming to your house or like anything of like, I just never heard anything. I just never heard anything at all. And I purposely didn't bring it up until now because I wanted to talk about it on the podcast. So my question for you, Sorosky, is, do we have a problem? You and me.
I think this is your time to talk now. So
because we can air it out if we got a problem.
Okay. First of all, off the top, if I could go back in time and say no DMX joke and no story, we would just start, we got a new topic. So
you wouldn't have made the deal.
So okay.
Here I am thinking Sorosky's gonna say, if I could go back in time and say happy birthday to my buddy,
no, not that.
Or just like make it no, just not this intro.
It was a frustrating day. So
Sorry.
I think we're out of time, right? Aren't we? Wasn't this supposed to be?
No,
quick?
we got a couple of minutes.
Okay, so
yeah, I'm like 21 actually. So you got don't worry. You take all the time you need to explain. You know.
Mm-hmm. So we had. I'm gonna give you a brief background of my plans for the day because Steve is involved. Because the next day, Steve and I were going to fly to Las Vegas and then do some stuff, and then that would come back at the end.
Okay.
So, so the couple, maybe a week or so before, Steve and I finalize of we'll meet at Eric's, and then I'll crash at his house that night, and then go from there. So somehow during the laundry process of getting my clothes ready, there was a laundry machine issue.
Okay.
It's weird that the laundry machine affected your phone too.
Well, it's weird because I texted a couple non-direct people, like Diego, for example, and I texted you and Nick, and I figured Eric was in such a good day, I didn't want to bum him out, so I figured I can like text like you and Diego, you guys can sort of, break the ice smoothly, and then naturally, you know, like Diego will take a nice swing and Eric will be like, you know what? I'm so happy seeing that swing. I can hear any news right now. And then he can be like, oh, great, Sorosky's late. And then, Diego and you guys missed that opportunity. Here we go. This is good. If I could go back and relive that day over, I would do things differently.
Okay. So to answer
What
the
would you
question,
do different?
we don't have a problem. You just have a laundry problem.
Well, it was fixed because the landlord talked to some repair person, and it's worse now.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I hope that you still had an enjoyable birthday, considering the unfortunate laundry incident. Really, I consider it the worst part of the past calendar year. That's a stretch, but I'm going. I'm just.
It was still a great night. We had a great time.
I'm glad.
It was fun.
I heard you were such a great host that there was no problems with the UFC airing on your TV.
There definitely was, but we got it in time for the fight, and unfortunately, Jan Polish Power beat Izzy for the belt. So that was unfortunate. But wasn't that the night that we were playing darts for money, Steve, and someone like ripped a $20 bill in half? I forget how that even happened, but that was
so funny. Jason, it was me and Nick versus Eric and Jason, and it was I don't know how often you're around Jason when he's like drunk and doing like competitive things, Sorosky. But
enough.
So like we're playing darts in the basement, and Jason's like pretty drunk, and we're playing cricket, and you don't need to know all the rules for those that don't know how to play cricket, but all you need to know is like each person shoots 3 darts at a time before their turn's up. And Jason's going, and I can't remember if you guys already lost the first game, or if I think you already lost the first game, so like tensions were like a little high with Jason in addition. And he goes up and he shoots his first dart pretty quick, misses, shoots his second dart pretty quick, misses, and then he just stops and he like takes a deep breath, and then he just screams, "Why am I rushing it?"
But where did the ripped $20 bill come into play?
So like at the end of we played 2 games, and we played $10 a man per game. So Nick and I won both. So you guys each owed us 20 basically. And then you paid your 20, and then Jason took a 20 out of his wallet and then ripped it in half. And then gave me and Nick each half a $20 bill.
That's good.
Yeah. So, and then I guess he forgot about it or just didn't remember, because then the next morning Nick was like making fun of just like you guys losing in darts, and then Jason was like, "Oh yeah, I found like a ripped $20 bill in my wallet this morning or something."
That's
Why
good.
am I rushing? That shit was so funny though. I mean, it was a fun night for sure. Why am I rushing? He was just like so mad.
Maybe this will give you some joy of the amount of agony I was in that night with people texting me laundry machine advice was insane.
So what happened with the laundry machine?
So basically, like it like wouldn't drain like that. The after whatever cycle that is wouldn't work, and then I put them in the dryer, and like it was just so wet, it like wouldn't dry.
It was just like
totally. And then there was like water on the ground everywhere. It was like crazy.
Wait, so it was a washing machine issue, not a dryer issue?
Right. It was whatever the last cycle is, where it like drains, spin cycle, I think.
Right.
Wherever, but I'm getting like 8 texts about, clean it or do this. And I'm like, I'm trying.
I didn't know. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, like all the like for some reason just like it wouldn't the like spin cycle wouldn't work. And then I tried moving all the stuff to the dryer, and it was like super wet still. But I figured like it should like still dry, and then it just like I swear I did like I finished laundry at like 5 a.m. and I started doing it at like 4 p.m. and it was like 2 loads of laundry.
You should have wrung out your clothes before you put you probably picked up the clothes, putting them in. You probably put them in dripping, soaking wet.
Well, I tried like wringing them and stuff. There's like a sink there. Like I like tried to like, and then I tried doing like a third of the load, and then just like nothing.
I'm surprised there wasn't an issue with your dryer as well.
No, yeah, dryer was good. Okay, well let's move on to the subject of great topic, Eric. Thank you for contributing that one.
It was worth it. It was worth it for this episode.
Yeah, I know. It hurts me too. So I'm man enough to admit it hurts me. So I hope you're happy.
All right, I got one quick thing, and then we could call it a day.
I got a quick thing. Let me do mine.
Yeah.
And then it'll be quick. So you guys have to tell me if this is weird or genius.
Okay, I like this.
So I've been doing a lot. Yeah, but you have to pick weird or genius.
You got to decide.
Right.
Okay.
So I've been doing a lot of walking recently since the weather's been warming up.
I'm like weird.
And then, fortunately or unfortunately, as the pandemics, doing whatever, now there's like way more people, and people are like talking to you and me, and it's like crowded, and so I'm losing time. It's my walks are I'm taking more time to cover less distance. There's more people. They're like asking me, like I'm outside Clark and Belmont. You always have to like there's people like with tables trying to sign you up for like a charity or something horrible. It's awful. So I found a spot in Chicago where there's not that many people, and there's tons of like green area with like grass. There's not really that much grass around the city, and it's great. I'm having a great time walking there. It's a graveyard or a cemetery, whichever one. So is that more genius for finding a spot that looks nice? It's well maintained. I can walk and it's like I'm in a park, and there's not people all around me, but because they're all dead is sort of the reason they're not around me. So comments.
That's a pretty sick question.
I would say genius. I'm like pretty anti like I don't really think anything of like ghost spirits like that, but like I look at a cemetery and I'm just like that's another park to me. Like I don't think there's anything weird about it.
Yeah,
I get it that there's like people buried there, but I've never been very like, oh my god, dead bodies, ghost spirit. Like it's just a park to me. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with genius as well, with a disclaimer, because it's genius because everyone else is freaked out by graveyards and they won't walk through them. It would turn into being weird if like everybody had the mentality that you had, and then it just ended up being like a regular park, and then it was crowded. But the fact that it's just you is genius.
You guys are just playing like handball off of like someone's gravestone.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a couple cool aspects of it, and that's why I have to work on it. But the first is whenever someone like does approach you, if you just kind of look sad, like they'll just keep going. That's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
But then my issue is I get so excited now when on day 3 going. But I just had this huge smile on my face when I walked in. I was like, I can't do that. I have to tone it down.
You got to be somber.
Right. I was like skipping and like high-fiving people. I'm like I'm in my spot, but I have to tone it down. 20 degrees to make sure it lasts.
You know what I've always wanted to do that I never did, but like I've always wanted to do it is like steal flowers. From like there's always like fresh flowers in graveyards, like full bouquets of flowers, and just like take them and like give them to Liz or like whatever, because flowers are expensive. No, but hear me out. Like the person
you're in the right.
Who went to go leave them at the grave, they've already left. Chances are they're not going to come check on them. Like they probably got the flowers and then they won't be back for months. So like they're not going to be sad about it. The person who's dead obviously isn't going to be sad about it. It's like a good use of the flowers to let someone else get joy from them. It's still stealing, so like I just haven't done it, but like why not? If I left flowers on a grave, I'd be happy to know that someone stole them and then repurposed them.
You had me the whole time. I'm 100% in.
I'm like, I'm gonna take it a step further and like, we should just like dig up bodies and take their jewelry. You know, I mean, it's like they're not gonna miss it. You know, like
hey,
Liz something nice. You know.
You hear stories about people being buried with like, you know, their favorite, you know, jersey or something. So I'm sure there's some good stuff in there.
Oh, for sure. There's good stuff. Wedding rings. Are you kidding me?
And never mind. You know how expensive coffins are? We can just dump the bodies and take the coffins.
Right.
Right. Dude, it is pretty crazy though. If you think about like, if there's, I don't know, a couple thousand bodies in a cemetery, like I wouldn't even know what to guess. Because after a certain amount of time, don't they just like reuse the same spots?
I wouldn't think so, just for like headstone purposes, but I don't know.
I'm saying if somebody died like, and it's like extreme, like 100 years later. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they still.
I feel like they still have the old ones there from like the 1800s in some cases.
Really? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's been a while since I like skipped through the graveyard like Sorosky does.
I mean, Sorosky, you should be telling us about this.
No, I mean, my impression is they're all. If you were buried in 1600, they're not touching that. It's kind of weird, to like society wise. So you're kind of good, but it seems like by like the year 5000, shouldn't the whole world just be graveyards after a certain point?
Yeah.
There's going to be a point where we're going to have to just be like, look, you know, look, we need to expand and put an apartment building here. All right.
Like there's 8 billion people on Earth right now. How many grave spots are there? Like this should be a problem immediately, or we should start opening some graveyards.
I'm just thinking about the amount of like gold and diamonds that there for sure are like in an entire cemetery.
For sure.
There's probably
and
so
flowers.
Much. Yeah, Eric can have the flowers. I'll take the
yeah.
I'll take the gold and the diamonds.
Fun fact, which kind of illustrates the fact that, well, at least some famous graves stay in. When I went to Suffolk Law School in Boston, there was a graveyard across the street where we would go smoke, and the graveyard that we smoked at was Sam Adams of Sam Adams Boston beer fame, and so we would always be like, yeah.
I disappeared.
Yeah. But so we would always go smoke at Sam Adams' grave. And that was obviously not like a recent grave.
I wouldn't think so, but that's still a good story.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and plus it's we cannot see you, Steve.
I know, I was just about to say, I don't know what happened. I like bumped my microphone, but then for some reason my video stopped. I don't know why my video would stop.
It's all right. We're releasing this on audio. No one can see it anyways.
Yeah, it's true. I wanted to like Google. I wanted to see like who was like ever buried with like the most shit.
I mean, some we gotta go to Egypt because it's got to be some one of the old mummies, right?
Probably.
Or that's at least a good contender, good starting place. Maybe like an old like Alexander the Great or something. That's probably you can't have a mediocre funeral for Alexander the Great under any circumstance.
True, but there's a lot of publicity there, so like people could dig that up.
Okay. Oh, so some could already be gone at the Trump graves. Right. Everyone's gonna go find a Trump gravestone because they're all so rich. So even the poor Trumps, you can go scoop some gold.
Right.
But you got to go for the ones who are right below them. Wow. Yeah, but yeah, so Egypt, because you're stuck in the tomb, so it's kind of hard. It's an easy target to see, but hard to get into.
Like I went to go dig out a grave. There's a hallway here? God.
I've seen the movie The Mummy.
I know how this ends.
Yeah, I know how this ends. As long as we have a Brendan Fraser type character with us, we should be fine, but... All right, the last thing I'll say.
Yeah.
I should have said it earlier when we were talking about Nick, when we were talking about your house, but shout out Nick. He told me that everyone says like, "Oh, you'll never like sleep again, or you're not gonna get much sleep because like having a newborn and everything." And he was like, "It's not that bad. I never sleep, Nick. I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't slept in weeks."
So it's been
You
bad.
lied to me.
That was good. I like that.
Yeah, thanks. Well, the thing that's been just super rough about it is, since he was premature, so like he was premature.
I think it's cooler to say preemie.
Yeah, I could say yeah, especially because we do the abbreves. It's
Yeah.
like
What about just pre?
yeah, pre. Since he was a preemie, he was born 5 pounds 15 ounces, and I guess in your first 2 weeks of living, you always lose weight. They say like babies 100% of the time will lose weight after they're born, but they want to keep it to less than 10% of the body weight. So when we went for like our 10-day checkup, he was like 7.5 to 8% body weight lost, which is like towards the high end, obviously, because 10% is where they don't want it to go above. So because he was a premium, because he was losing so much weight, we just had trouble feeding him because he wouldn't wake up. Like it would take us so long to like wake him up, try to eat, and then when he would wake up, he wouldn't eat that much. But so we had to feed him every 90 minutes.
Yeah, you guys
So
can't
like, if
sleep.
you just imagine, dude, like it's just impossible. So like obviously like I'm assuming that like it was never that bad for Nick and Mandy, but so it was just for like a week we literally had to just feed him every 90 minutes. And when you think about it, it's like it takes us a little bit of time to wake him up. And then it's like when you wake him up, you feed him and everything. And then it's like you have to fucking wake him up again in like 40 minutes now
Right.
to like eat again.
Right.
So it's just like for like a week, it was just like, I mean, the whole month has been exhausting, but we've been doing, it's nice that she has so much time off work and like that I could work from home and I'm super flexible, you know, but it was pretty rough for a while just because of like the attention that he needed for stuff like that. Like it was pretty like it's been better now. Like we try to give each other at least 4 or 5 hours to sleep while the other one's awake, just taking care of him. But yeah, for a while it was like pretty brutal.
Yeah, when 4 or 5 hours is like your, luxury, then you know it's brutal.
Yeah, like I slept for 5 today. It was like kind of broken. Like I woke up 4 or 5 times in that 5 hours, but I was just like, man, that was nice. Like a nice 4 or 5 times broken 5 hours. It was like, what a sleep.
Good as new.
But yeah, that's my last. But he's a little bundle of joy. So hopefully when he gets older, I could like give him shit for having to fucking take care of him so much in the beginning.
You know what you should do? You just wake him up every 90 minutes, What are you trying to do? And be like, this is how it was for you.
I know, I made that joke to Maria. She was like, he's sleeping, let him sleep. And I was like, oh, he gets to sleep? That doesn't seem fair. But yeah, they say I read online that at 3 to 6 months, so like still pretty big range. I'm assuming it's gonna be closer to the 6 months, but it says 3 to 6 months is when they start to be able to like sleep for whatever 6, 7, 8 hours at once. I'm assuming it'll be closer to 6, like I said. So I already told Maria, I'm just like, the first time he starts to do that, where he just like starts to sleep for 6, 7, 8 hours, it's just gonna feel so weird. Like holy shit! Like we just have like 6, 7, 8 hours to just like not like just like do stuff with them.
Just
right
whatever
now.
we want.
Just like whatever we want. Like we could just like do. But yeah, that's it. Shout out Nick. Thanks for the lies, bro. But that's all I got.
All right, cool.
You said you had something to end on before.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not like as deep as like babies in life and stuff. It's kind of back to being stupid. This is just to me the most obvious. It doesn't get more obvious than this. When you think of like, celebrating something big or like a big birthday or just, you know, like a big celebratory dinner, or like you're celebrating, you're going out for a big dinner. I think people think typically in America, the high end of the dinner is the steakhouse. I think we can agree on that. Would you guys agree on that? Like that's the thing. It's like, oh, you're going to get steaks. I know Steve's big on that. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
you go get steaks.
Yeah,
But
steaks is good.
like the level of hibachi and how much higher it is than a steakhouse is just ridiculous. Like hibachi is just so many levels ahead of steak in on average for every hibachi in every steakhouse. It's just not even close. Like, first off, like everything's included. So you order a hibachi dinner, you get the salad, you get the soup, you get the 2 pieces of shrimp, you get your entree. Sometimes you even get like an ice cream at the end. Everything's included. Whereas with steakhouses, their sides are always like made like for 2 or 3 people. So you got to like negotiate with the table. Like, oh, you're getting this, I'll get this, and then we could split this. And it's always an awkward amount. No one gets what they want. Then everyone gets like their steak different. And like, you know, if you get yours like really rare, your steak might be sitting back there, unless they time it right, which they might, but like it might be sitting back there while someone else's that's getting well done is cooked. Hibachi, it's all right in front of your face. You witness how your steak is being cooked the whole time. You get your food at the freshest time immediately, right as it's cooked. You get a show, like they literally flip knives and shit in front of you, and you get a show. And overall, it's just a much more luxurious experience than a steakhouse, which is honestly pretty annoying to pay $70 for a piece of meat. And, you know, there's a risk that it might not be exactly what you want. Then you got to figure out sides. So just want to make sure you two are like on board with that.
Yeah, dude, I'm so down with hibachi like all the time. And to add to something that you forgot, you always get free sake too.
That too.
Because they always squirt sake. Like, there's not been a time where I went where they didn't squirt sake into my mouth. And if you tell them like hit me again, they'll just give you more sake.
Yeah, they never put a limit on it. They're always pumped to give you more.
They love it. Like, so there's been times where I've gone where I've gotten like definitely 3 shots of sake before just for free.
That's a good point.
And you could get down on some sushi too.
And, dude, great point. And you can get down on sushi at the same time if you want.
Little sushi appetize.
Are you going to come in with a disagreement here, Sorosky?
No, I was just gonna say, first off, at the beginning, I was gonna jump in with, or like a nice seafood hibachi place. So we're similar.
Okay.
So we agree. I'm just gonna say it's much more of a mix. And as you mentioned, positively, I thought when you talked about my socialite status, I recently went to a steakhouse. And
of course you did.
Someone I was with got one of those $250 steaks, and he gave me like a slice. And holy shit, was it fucking better than my $80 pizza garbage? Like, what am I doing?
That's like, the one thing that I've never had one of those before.
And it was like it was served on like it wasn't served on a plate. It was served like on a. I'm blanking, but like an old Indian, like a Native American might serve meat on it, like a plate, but like it's sort of like cooking while it's on it still.
Oh, okay.
Like some type of like skillet type thing.
Yeah, but it was almost like a rockier skillet or stone skillet. Anyway, it was incredible, and just we used to order a bunch of sick appetizers, and they were all incredible. And then a bunch of sides, and like one of them was like super mashed potatoes. We'll suffer and survive with super mashed potatoes. So I'm just saying steakhouses are very good. Like, they're strong. So don't throw out the steakhouse is all I'm saying. Even though I support your idea, and mix in hibachi. Never mind Corona. I don't know if I haven't been since Corona. I don't even know if what they're doing. Oh, and one last thing about hibachi.
Oh, they're doing it all. They're doing
okay,
it all.
hell yeah, I gotta go back. Maybe for your birthday next year, we
yeah.
He'll be there.
Ironically, I think each table seats 6 at hibachi.
Okay, good. Yeah, so same. We'll run it back.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I'm not really a big community guy is I like walking in graveyards over public streets. The community in Hibachi is kind of cool. We're there's two people, and like if you have good service, they have good service. If you have bad service, they have bad service. Like you'll give each other a look if something funny happens. Like if they catch a shrimp in their mouth, you clap. It's a sense of community which doesn't exist in the steakhouse.
I mean, like, I love both of them, steakhouses and hibachi. Like, those are probably two of my favorite, if not my two favorite types of things to go out and eat. Since I've moved to Vegas, I'm all about Korean barbecue too.
Korean barbecue, I've never been. I want to, but part of me is like, why are you making, like, I feel like they're just like, you cook it.
It's so good though, dude. Like, trust me, if you and Liz should come out here, and then we can go to like our favorite spot, and you would absolutely love it.
I bet you I would.
I'll tell you, Steve will sell his Raiders tickets and then take you and Liz to go to Korean barbecue.
Well, and the best part is, like, I'm all the different ones that I've been to are the same, so I'm assuming they're all the same. But you can either get like a fixed price for whatever you want food wise, or you could do like the all you can eat. And we always do the all you can eat, and it's just so nice because you're just like, oh yeah, like let's get a little bit more octopus, or like let's get some more fucking like, you know, just like whatever. You can just keep ordering whatever you want, and it's just like and beef bulgogi is probably one of the best things I've ever had in my life, to be honest.
Wow, it makes me sad that I've never had that, and you're calling it like one of the best things you've ever had.
It's so good, dude.
Next time you're in Vegas.
I mean, they have Korean barbecue in Chicago too.
Yeah, he can't. I feel like his first time might as well be with you at this point. He's waited long enough.
And at the end,
or you can come to Chicago.
It's true, for sure. But yeah, Eric, you would love it for sure, because it's basically like hibachi, but obviously like you just do it yourself.
Yeah, I actually lived across from a Korean barbecue. Like my old apartment building was across the street, and we just never went.
The first time you have it, you're gonna be like, God damn it! Like we could have just been going there all the time.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna go with the theory that Eric, you're a social guy, correct?
I try not to be, but I'd say I am sometimes.
People come and go to your apartment, correct? You know, like you're above zero people come in and out and see your apartment and see across the street, and they didn't say, "Oh man, you live right across the street from an awesome restaurant. You should go." You're insane for not going.
I bet you somebody said that to Eric.
He would have gone.
That's a good point, Sorosky, but it had recently opened.
Okay, fair. Okay.
So, but also great point. You're right. Someone would have brought it up.
Okay, yeah, but it's a DQ point because it recently opened.
No, I lived above a Mexican place that was like so average that like anyone you talk to, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that place is just so average," like overwhelmingly average.
That's awesome, though.
All right.
If they would change their name to overwhelmingly average, I think they would have better business and not have to change anything.
Well, they were also in an apartment building, so they got all that business.
True.
Helps.
Yeah, right. Yeah, all the late night or whatever.
Yeah.
That's why they could be average.
Exactly.
They knew.
All right. Anything else? We good to wrap it up?
I think that's all I got.
They could be below average if they really wanted. They have the guaranteed business of the apartment people.
It's true.
But yeah, that's it.
All right. See you later, guys.
All right, later.